Love doesn't always enter the room loudly. Sometimes it arrives in silence, in the way he looks at you when you're not watching, in the pauses between his words, and in the smallest things he remembers about you. When a man is truly catching feelings, he may not say it directly. He might not come out with a grand confession or dramatic gesture. But if you pay attention, really pay attention, you'll notice his heart starting to speak through his actions. This kind of love speaks in quiet details. It's in the way he listens more than he talks. It's in the messages he sends just to check on you. It's in the way he becomes nervous around you, even if he tries to hide it. And it's in those unspoken moments where his presence feels like comfort, not performance. Sometimes we miss these signs because we're looking for fireworks, for big words and clear labels. But real emotion isn't always loud. In fact, the deepest feelings often hide in the most ordinary moments. The ones where he picks up on your mood without you saying a word, or finds a reason to stay a little longer, even when the conversation has already ended. Many women ask, "How do I know if he really likes me?" The truth is, you already do. Deep down, you feel the shift in his energy. You notice the way he's present. But sometimes it helps to have those feelings reflected back, to hear them laid out clearly. That's why this list exists. These 15 subtle signs aren't just behaviors. They're windows into his growing attachment. Whether he's quietly admiring you, adjusting his schedule to make time for you, or slowly introducing you to the people who matter most in his life, each one of these signs is a thread. Together, they weave the truth that he's falling, slowly but surely. So, if you've been wondering where his heart truly stands, pause and watch closely. The signs are there. They always are. You just have to stop listening for words and start feeling what his silence is trying to say. Because sometimes the loudest "I like you" is the one he doesn't even realize he's saying. 1. He remembers the smallest things you say. When a man is genuinely catching feelings, one of the most telling signs is how attentively he listens and remembers even the smallest things you say. It may not seem like much at first, but it shows how deeply he's paying attention. Not just to your words, but to you. When someone likes you, your voice carries weight in their world. Your thoughts, opinions, and even passing comments don't just fade away. They linger in his memory, sometimes more than you even realize. This kind of recall isn't forced or calculated. It happens naturally because he values your presence and what you bring into his life. Whether it's something you said weeks ago, a random detail about your favorite thing, or a casual comment made in passing, he holds on to it because, to him, every part of you matters. It becomes his quiet way of staying connected, a way to show he's emotionally invested without needing to spell it out in big romantic gestures. This behavior reveals a level of emotional intimacy that words sometimes fail to express. It reflects that he's not just hearing you, he's listening with intention and care. In a world full of distractions, remembering the small things means you're unforgettable to him. It's in these little moments that his growing affection becomes clear, quietly, consistently, and without fanfare. 2. He mirrors your tone, mood, or energy. When a man starts to mirror your tone, mood, or energy, it's a subtle but powerful sign that he's emotionally in sync with you. This kind of mirroring isn't always conscious. It's something people naturally do when they feel a strong connection or attraction to someone. His emotional state begins to reflect yours because deep down, he cares about how you feel and wants to relate to you on a deeper level. If you're excited, he matches your enthusiasm. If you're quiet or thoughtful, he softens his approach. This isn't about pretending or faking emotions. It's about aligning with you because your energy affects him. It shows he's tuned into your presence and that he feels comfortable enough to meet you where you are emotionally. This mirroring also reflects emotional sensitivity and a desire to build harmony between you two. It means he's not just invested in spending time with you, he's attuned to the emotional rhythm of your connection. He picks up on your mood without needing words, adjusting himself to create a comfortable and safe emotional space for you both. It's an unspoken way of saying, I feel what you feel, and that kind of emotional closeness doesn't happen casually. It speaks volumes about how deeply he's starting to care, even if he hasn't found the words to express it yet. 3. He gets nervous when you're around. When a man gets nervous around you, it often means he's experiencing emotions he hasn't fully sorted out yet, usually because he likes you more than he's ready to admit. Nervousness is the body's natural response to emotional vulnerability. It shows he cares about how you see him and doesn't want to mess up around you. He might stumble over words, fidget a little more, or act slightly different than he does with others. Not because he's unsure of himself in general, but because you matter more to him than most people. This nervous energy comes from a place of admiration and genuine interest. It's the quiet tension between wanting to be close to you and being unsure of how to do it perfectly. He may overthink his actions, worry about saying the right thing, or even try to act more composed than he feels, all signs that your presence shakes his usual calm. It's not about a lack of confidence. It's about caring enough to feel a little unsteady. These small anxious reactions often mean his feelings are real and growing. You make his heart beat faster, and that emotional impact doesn't go unnoticed by him or by others. When someone truly likes you, being around you doesn't feel ordinary. It feels like something he wants to get right, even if it means being a little awkward in the process. 4. He checks in on you without a reason. When a man checks in on you without any specific reason, it's often because you're on his mind more than he admits. He's not waiting for an excuse like a task or a question. He just wants to hear from you, to know how you're doing, or simply feel connected to you, even for a moment. These little check-ins are his way of saying, I care, without needing a grand gesture or a deep conversation. It shows that your well-being matters to him, and he's emotionally invested in your day, your mood, and your presence. He might send a short message, ask how you slept, or randomly pop up just to say hello. All small things that hold big meaning. The consistency of these check-ins reveals how naturally you've become a part of his thoughts. This kind of effort often happens when someone is developing feelings they haven't fully expressed yet. He's trying to build closeness, quietly weaving himself into your everyday life, one message or call at a time. Even when he doesn't have the words to say he misses you, these small gestures speak for him. At its core, this behavior isn't about obligation or politeness. It's about genuine emotional presence. When someone checks in with no agenda, it means you're important enough to pause his day, just to make sure you're okay. And in love, that quiet consistency can mean everything. 5. He makes time for you, even when he's busy. When a man makes time for you, even during his busiest moments, it speaks volumes about how much he values you. Life can be hectic, responsibilities can pile up, and yet, somehow, he still finds a moment to call, message, or show up for you. That's not random. That's effort. And effort is one of the clearest signs of genuine emotional investment. No one is truly too busy for someone they care about. We all prioritize what matters most, and if he's choosing to carve out space for you, even when his schedule is packed, it means you've become important to him. It's not always about grand romantic plans or long conversations. Sometimes it's just a quick check-in, a moment of presence, or a small gesture that says, "You're on my mind." This kind of behavior reveals more than affection. It shows reliability, commitment, and the beginning of emotional attachment. He doesn't wait for the perfect time. He makes time. Even if he's overwhelmed, he still wants you to feel seen, heard, and valued. That kind of consistency isn't casual. It's a quiet sign that he's slowly building a space for you in his life, no matter how full it already is. 6. He listens more than he talks. When a man listens more than he talks, especially around you, it's a subtle but powerful sign that he's catching real feelings. In a world where people often wait for their turn to speak, someone who genuinely pauses to listen is rare and meaningful. It means he's not just hearing your words, but absorbing them. He wants to understand how you think, what you feel, and who you truly are beyond the surface. This quiet attentiveness shows that your voice carries weight for him. He's not trying to dominate the conversation or impress you with stories. He's creating space for you to be seen. It's a sign of respect, curiosity, and emotional openness. He may ask thoughtful follow-up questions, remember what you said days later, or simply give you the time to express yourself fully. Listening is a deeply emotional act when it comes from someone who cares. It means he's tuned into you not just for the sake of conversation, but because you genuinely matter to him. He doesn't feel the need to fill every silence with words. Your presence is enough. And when someone chooses to listen more than they speak, they're showing you where their heart is, even without saying a thing. 7. He tries to impress you in subtle ways. When a man starts trying to impress you in subtle ways, it's often a quiet reflection of how deeply he's drawn to you. He may not come out and say he likes you, but his actions begin to shift. Without making it obvious, he starts putting more thought into how he presents himself. The way he dresses, the way he speaks, or how he carries himself when you're around. This kind of effort is usually understated. He may casually mention an achievement, highlight something he's good at, or go out of his way to be helpful without making it a big deal. He's not showing off for the world, just for you. And that's what makes it meaningful. It's not about arrogance or attention-seeking. It's about wanting you to see the best parts of him. These gestures show he's thinking about how he appears in your eyes. He wants you to notice him, not through loud declarations, but through consistent, thoughtful effort. Whether it's stepping up when you need help, remembering what matters to you, or being just a little more polished in your presence, it all points to one thing. He cares about your opinion, and he wants to earn your admiration. That quiet desire to impress, without pressure or demand, is a sign that his feelings are real, growing, and rooted in a sincere wish to be someone you can look up to and trust. 8. He notices changes in your appearance or mood. When a man begins to notice even the smallest changes in your appearance or mood, it's a sign that he's paying close attention, not because he's trying to, but because he wants to. He's emotionally tuned into you in a way that goes beyond surface-level interest. If you style your hair differently, wear something new, or even just seem quieter than usual, he picks up on it, often before anyone else does. This level of awareness shows that he's observing you with care. He's not just seeing you, he's studying you in the most affectionate way. It means he's invested enough to recognize the shifts that others might overlook. And it's not always about appearance. If your mood feels off, even slightly, he may gently ask if you're okay or offer comfort without needing details. Such attentiveness reveals emotional connection. He's in sync with how you carry yourself, how you feel, and how your presence changes. When someone truly likes you, they become more sensitive to your energy, not because they're trying to impress, but because your happiness or sadness directly affects them. It matters to him, even if he doesn't know how to say it out loud. Noticing these little things is his unspoken way of saying, "I see you." And sometimes, that quiet recognition speaks more loudly than any words could. 9. He opens up about personal stuff. When a man begins to open up about personal things, It's a strong sign that he's developing real feelings. Most men tend to keep their deeper thoughts, fears, and past experiences guarded, not out of secrecy, but because vulnerability doesn't come easily. So when he chooses to share those parts of himself with you, it means he trusts you, values your presence, and feels emotionally safe around you. He might start small, mentioning childhood memories, work stress, or moments of self-doubt. Over time, those moments become more frequent and more sincere. He's letting you into his world, showing you the layers he usually hides from others. This openness isn't random. It's intentional. It's his quiet way of saying, you matter enough to see who I really am. Sharing personal things is a form of emotional intimacy. It means he sees you not just as someone to spend time with, but someone he wants to build something meaningful with. He's not just talking to you, he's connecting. And that kind of openness, especially when it happens naturally and without pressure, is one of the clearest signs that he's slowly falling for you, heart first. 10. He finds reasons to be near you. When a man finds reasons to be near you, even without a clear purpose, it's a quiet but unmistakable sign that he's drawn to you. Whether he lingers longer in conversation, chooses the seat closest to you, or shows up in places you didn't expect him to be, it all reflects one thing. He feels better when you're around. He might not always know what to say or how to express his feelings directly, but his actions speak for him. Proximity becomes his comfort zone. Just being in your presence, hearing your voice, or sharing the same space is enough to make his day feel lighter. That desire to stay close isn't about coincidence. It's intentional and often unconscious. When someone is catching feelings, your energy starts to pull them in naturally. They'll walk across a room just to ask a small question, or offer help with things they wouldn't usually offer to do. They look for reasons to stay, not leave. It's not about grand gestures, it's about presence. Being close to you becomes the highlight of his day. This subtle behavior shows that your presence matters to him. You give him a sense of ease, warmth, or excitement, and that's something he'll quietly seek out, again and again, without needing to explain why. 11. He introduces you to people who matter to him. When a man introduces you to the people who matter most to him, whether it's close friends, family, or mentors, it's a meaningful sign that his feelings are growing deeper. He's not just spending time with you in private. He's bringing you into his inner world, which means he sees you as someone with long-term importance. This step isn't taken lightly. For many men, their inner circle is sacred, a space reserved for trust, loyalty, and emotional safety. By including you in that space, he's silently saying, "You're important to me, and I want the people I care about to know you too." It's a sign of pride, respect, and emotional openness. He's not hiding you or keeping you as a secret part of his life. Instead, he's choosing to make you visible in the areas that matter most to him. Even if the introductions are casual, the intention behind them is clear. He wants to see how you fit into his world, and how his world responds to you. This isn't about showing off. It's about alignment. He's emotionally invested enough to start blending lives, and that kind of openness usually comes when his feelings have moved past curiosity into something more sincere and lasting. 12. He gets protective when others upset you. When a man becomes protective when others upset you, it's a strong, instinctive sign that he's emotionally connected to you. He may not always know how to express his feelings directly, but the moment he sees you hurt, disrespected, or treated unfairly, something inside him shifts. He wants to step in, not to control the situation, but to defend you, to support you, to make sure you feel safe. This kind of protectiveness isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it shows up in the way he speaks up for you, gently redirects a conversation, or offers quiet comfort after something bothers you. Other times, it's in the way he watches closely, stays near, or gives you space while letting you know he's right there if needed. It's not about being possessive. It's about care. When someone likes you deeply, your pain starts to feel like his pain. Seeing you upset makes him want to shield you, fix things, or at least be a calming presence beside you. His concern becomes a reflection of his growing affection. He may not say "I like you" or "I love you" yet, but his instinct to protect you speaks louder than words. In moments when you're hurt, frustrated, or vulnerable, his protectiveness reveals the depth of his emotional involvement. The part of him that quietly whispers, "I've got you." 13. He looks at you when you're not watching. When a man looks at you when you're not watching, it's one of the most unguarded and genuine signs that he's catching feelings. These are the moments where his walls drop, where he's not performing or trying to impress. He's simply taking you in. There's something about you that draws his attention even when you're not doing anything specific. And he doesn't need you to see it. Because it's not about being noticed. It's about noticing you. These glances are often soft, thoughtful, and quiet. He might look at you while you're focused on something else, talking, laughing, reading, just being yourself. And in those moments, he sees something that makes him pause. Whether it's admiration, curiosity, or affection, it's written all over his expression. And if you catch him looking, and he quickly looks away or smiles awkwardly, that's an even clearer sign, not of guilt, but of the vulnerability he feels when he's caught caring. People don't stare at things they don't feel connected to. His eyes go to you naturally, without thinking, because something about you keeps pulling him in. It's a silent confession of attraction wrapped in a glance. And even though he may not say much, in that look is a quiet truth. He sees something special in you, something he's drawn to again and again. 14. He uses "we" instead of "I" without noticing. When a man starts using "we" instead of "I" without even realizing it, it's a quiet shift that reveals just how deeply you've become part of his world. This subtle change in language isn't planned or rehearsed. It happens naturally when someone begins to think in terms of together rather than alone. It means he's no longer seeing his life as a solo journey, but as something that now includes you. You might hear it in passing. "We should check that place out," or "We've been meaning to try that," even if no formal commitment has been made. These small phrases carry big meaning. They show that in his mind, the idea of future plans, decisions, or experiences now automatically includes you. This kind of shift doesn't happen casually. It usually reflects emotional comfort, trust, and growing attachment. Without realizing it, he's aligning his thoughts with yours. It's not about control or obligation. It's about presence. You've become a reference point in his thoughts, and his words are simply catching up. Using "we" over "I" is one of those unconscious signs of affection that often go unnoticed by the speaker, but not by the person listening. And if you're hearing it more and more, take it as a sign. In his heart and in his plans, you're not just someone he's dating, you're someone he's starting to build something with. 15. He seems genuinely happy just being around you. When a man seems genuinely happy just being around you, even without anything special happening, it's a beautiful sign that his feelings are deep and sincere. You don't have to entertain him, impress him, or constantly be doing something exciting. Your presence alone is enough to lift his mood. That quiet contentment, that subtle joy he shows just by being near you, reveals far more than words ever could. You might notice it in his smile when you walk into the room, the relaxed way he sits when you're beside him, or how he seems to forget the world for a moment when you're together. It's not about needing constant attention or thrills. It's about the peace and happiness he feels in your company. You make him feel good, not through effort, but through presence. This kind of happiness is rooted in emotional connection. It means you bring him a sense of calm, comfort, or warmth that he can't quite explain. He enjoys your energy, your voice, your silence, everything. And he doesn't need a reason to be around you, because being there is the reason. When a man shows this kind of happiness consistently, without expectation, it's often because you've become something rare to him, a source of genuine light. He may not always say it out loud, but in the way he stays close, smiles without cause, or lingers in your presence, his heart is quietly showing itself.